Oh boy, it has been a while. I think the last episode I did was in Thailand. I did like 3 episodes in 1 week. And there was something about being in Thailand that just made me want to share it all because I was far away from family in Belgium. I was far away from my life in Peru. So I didn't care. I just wanted to share all of the stories, anything that came up. And it was very inspiring. And then after that, I don't know, it's been now what, 6 months, maybe more, since I last recorded. So I'm so sorry. I just keep wanting to record these awesome dating stories that I want to put on Shapeless Love, but I keep getting back to grief. And I know grief is also a shapeless love, you know? Being a digital nomad, changing countries is also a shapeless love. It's shapeless, it shifts, it changes with you. And grief just keeps coming up. But I actually promised a friend of mine, Amber from the Grief Gang, her, if you don't know her podcast, check it out. She has some awesome talks about grief. And I promised her that I would record my condom story. And the condom story is a great, funny story that I'm not gonna record today. I will at some point. But I just wanted to update you first on what's been going on. Because I'm back in Peru. And I arrived here end of December. I first traveled with my mom and my brother, and it was great to share those moments together. And now I miss them like crazy. Now I'm still in Peru because I still have my residency here, my temporary residency, and that means that I have to be in the country for 6 months a year to keep it. So that's why I'm here until at least July, August maybe. And I want to change it to a different type where I only have to be here 1 day a year, but we'll see if that will work in July. I'm gonna do that paperwork. But yeah, I'm back here. I'm in a furnished apartment this time because I sold all my stuff last year and I really regret it now. But hey, if I could turn back time, that's a song, right? If I could turn back time, then I would have kept my apartment and not sold my stuff and maybe rented it out to someone. I don't know, but I just did not have the energy for that. Grief has been a bitch. And now I'm a year and a half in, maybe a bit more, a year and maybe 7 months in with this grief. And I do feel a shift, and I'll talk about that today. But I do regret having sold my stuff. And now I bought another vacuum cleaner because I sold mine, and I bought another kettle because I sold mine, and I'll just have more stuff to keep here whenever I'm in Belgium. But the plan is still to be maybe part time ish here or a couple months a year and then part time ish in Belgium. And I also still really want to move around and be a digital nomad now that I sold my stuff. My dog Chispa is at my grandmother's. I don't have a partner. My job is online. So I've been creating this freedom over the past 5 years and I'm finally sort of there. So now I can just take my laptop and be wherever for the first time because I used to be, in a relationship and very settled and I had my apartment here and my dog. And now I have that freedom and I had that taste when I went to Thailand and Australia and that was like a 5 week trip, I think, in total. And now I just really want more. There's so many countries I want to be in. I want to go to Colombia and I want to visit my friends in Sweden. And there's so many places I want to be and go. And I really loved that way of traveling where I was just working during the day and then doing touristic stuff on the weekend. Because I noticed now when I was traveling with my mom and my brother that doing full time tourism, like doing tours every day and just really being on vacation, not working and doing touristic stuff, it's very exhausting. It's very tiring. And sometimes I do like having my little routine. I do like feeling like I live somewhere for a while. And I do want to spend like 1 month here, 2 months there, and then just do some tours on the weekend and have the time to actually meet people from that country or meet people who live there and create a little routine, recognize the streets, know my favorite coffee shops. Um, so, yeah, in what way is grief changing for me now? I think I'm finally getting into that mind space where I can start manifesting stuff in my life. I was talking about that with a friend of mine today, and it inspired me to come home and start recording right away. And even this feeling of getting home and feeling inspired to start recording, that is new, apart from my inspiration in Thailand. Mm, Having inspiration and feeling creative has been almost non existent through grief, because the focus is more on survival. It's more on how do I get through this. It's more of a problem solving part of the brain that's like, how do I not feel so depressed and alone, and how do I not think about my dad all the time, and how do I get through this, how do I get through the next couple days, what's my plan for maybe the next month. But to think further than a couple months ahead has been very difficult. So even when people talk about their 5-year plan, or if they want to have kids in the future, and I'm like, I don't want to have kids when my dad is not around anymore, that kind of stuff. Or I cannot think further than this paperwork I want to do in Peru and see if I can get that other type of residency. That I cannot, right now we're May, and I can't think further than July right now. But like I said, that is starting to shift. So I'm starting to feel more open to doing some manifesting, wanting to have more clients. Ever since my dad passed, I've been working less because I didn't feel like I had the capacity for more. So I didn't have the space to save money. I was just barely getting by with the hours I've been working, because I needed space to crash when I needed to go outside and get distracted when I needed to really follow those waves of grief. And now I'm starting to feel space to work more. I must say, a year and a half or more in. And it's not that it's easier. I feel like, mm, what can I compare it to? It's like grief is this big box that is very heavy, and when you try to open it, it's overwhelming, it's too deep, it's too dark, it's too much. And so then sometimes you decide to open it just a little bit and then close it again. And now I'm starting to feel like I can open it a bit more. I wouldn't use the word easily, but that's kind of what I want to say. Because on Thursday, for example, I started crying, and I suddenly felt inspired to write about it. And I was writing in my journal, but it was almost like writing a song, and it might become a song. And I hadn't done songwriting since, I don't know, a long time. So, and I realized, hey, suddenly there is a creative outlet for what I'm feeling. So it's starting to feel a little bit less dark. And maybe instead of pitch black, it's starting to feel dark blue, where it's actually doable to do something with it. Whereas before, it just felt so heavy that I could maybe collapse and cry for a little bit and literally be on the floor crying, and then having to pull myself out of it, like, okay, that's enough. Let's get out of it. And even in February, I was doing some somatic exercises to release stress and release trauma in the body. And it was a lot of hip openers and stuff. And that was too much. My hair became very greasy, my skin. I woke up feeling like shit. I had this brain fog. I didn't want to see people. And then I got sick. I got a UDI, and just my whole body was bleh. And it was too much too soon. And now I'm starting to do those somatic exercises again, but not the way that the instructor says that we have to do it. She says we have to do it every day and you can't skip. And I'm like, you know what? Let me follow my own body's rhythm. And I'm doing the exercises a bit less big, less frequent. I'm doing it every other day. If I feel like it's affecting me, if I'm feeling tired, I stop for a day or two and then I continue. So I'm being really gentle with the releasing of my trauma and my grief, which is working way better. Mm, and I'm starting to feel ready for one on one therapy. Until now, I've done grief groups, a lot of them, lots of them. I've been doing, and I'm still doing the father loss group inside of the grief gang. I did a grief trip, right, when I was in Australia. I did an 8-week group that was a grief recovery method that actually had a whole therapeutic method of writing all of the unspoken communications and eventually reading it out to someone. So I've done some group therapy, but now I finally feel ready to dive into it a bit more one on one and to actually go do the dirty work, you know? Because before this, it just felt way too soon for that. So now I'm like, okay, let's talk about this. Let's unpack what happened and what it was like to see my dad suffer from a depression for 3 years before his passing. And what was it like seeing the way he was smoking and drinking alcohol and not eating well, not taking care of his body for so long. And that's the part of this grief that we've been, I say we because I don't think I'm the only one that has been wanting to put that part of the story away for a bit and just remember the good stuff about him. But it's like, hey, we need to unpack way more because why did I suddenly start crying? And I froze, then I dissociated, and then I cried when a friend came in here and there was this smell of alcohol, you know. Why did that activate me so much? Why did it activate me to be at a bar last week and then go outside and smell cigarette smoke? I cannot stand cigarette smoke right now. I cannot. It just opens that box when I don't want to open it. Why is that? You know, it comes from grief, and it's the ugly parts that need tending to. So, I'm ready for one on one therapy. And what I did a couple weeks ago, maybe already a month ago, was some psychedelics, San Pedro, which they also call Wachuma. And I did it once 9 years ago, and they say it's like the fatherly energy, which is why I thought, this might be a good one to do now. And it's more about self love and the connection to yourself and your essence. And I thought, oh, that could be pretty. It wasn't pretty. First of all, I didn't think that I'd have to walk after taking San Pedro. I just thought that it was like ayahuasca when you just lie on a mattress with a blanket and your water and you're just seeing all kinds of shit for 7 hours. And like a dream and then it's done. No, we actually had to move and walk up to a waterfall while your legs feel like spaghetti. And I had some confrontation with my fibromyalgia as well and my body's limits of having to walk up and having to follow someone else's rhythm, aka our guide, versus my own body's rhythm and what my body's asking for, which was lying down and seeing all kinds of stuff. But then we reached this waterfall, and I just saw this one rock, and I sat on it, and I collapsed. I cried, you know, the kind of crying that's just in Spanish, it's llanto. When you're, what's that in English? Not even crying, but is it sobbing? Just ugly, ugly crying. And you know, when your shoulders are shaking and you can't stop and there's all kinds of sounds coming out, horrible. And the river, the waterfall was very crazy. There was a very crazy current which made the crying even crazier. And I couldn't help but think about my dad and how much he loved water and how much he would have already been inside that waterfall already, or splashing water on everyone. You know, he loved water. and and you know, I felt like I finally gave myself permission to be a daughter who lost her dad. And it's even difficult to say it, but I'm always the one who tries to stay strong or wants to take care of others, or especially in public, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm fine. And the other day we were with friends and they're like, oh, how are you? And this one friend was like, oh, I had a really bad day. Oh, how about you? And I was like, I'm good. Whereas that day I was actually creating a legacy document with all of my details about my business and about how I want my funeral to be like, and phone numbers of everyone I want to know and the songs I want at my funeral. I was basically organizing my funeral that day, but I wasn't gonna say that to my friends because I was out. I wanted to have a good time. Anyway, why did I get there? I don't know. It's just things that the brain does right now. And when I tell friends I was making a legacy document, they were like, "What the fuck, Maya? what's, what's wrong with you?" Whereas inside the Grief Gang, we had a workshop about that, about how do you create your legacy box. What do you want to be in there? What audio messages would you like to leave for your family and friends? What's all the practical details? I mean, I have my residency in Peru. I don't have anything in Belgium. My business is in Estonia. I'm a digital nomad. I have a travel and health insurance. If I don't put those details in a document for my mom, they have no clue where anything is that I do, because I do all this weird stuff with my life. And they wouldn't even know where my bank account is. So anyway, I was doing that. How did I get there from San Pedro to the legacy document? Oh, because I said I'm always the one kind of staying strong. And when I see my friends, I just want to have a good time, honestly. When I feel bad, I'm at home, or maybe in a grief group, or maybe in therapy. But when I see my friends, I just want to laugh, and I put makeup on to hide maybe my crying face, and I just want to have a good time. And I think that's why my friends started seeing me as the person to turn to for advice or to complain to about their lives. And I'm like, my mind is just like, my dad is gone. I really don't care what you have to say. I don't care about your relationship, about a dude who was being a dick to you. Like, I don't. That's like the least of my concerns right now. My dad is gone. Or last time when I was at the bar, there was this person who said, someone said, oh, I wish my dad was rich, blah, blah. I wish I had a rich dad. And I was thinking, I wish I had a dad. And that just makes me cry thinking it. But I was like surprised by my own dark thought. And I was like, oh shit, I can't say that in front of everyone. Like, well, at least you have a dad. But yeah, so I feel like my friends started turning to me while my bucket was full, while I was just physically getting sick a lot from the physical manifestation of grief. And I was having my wisdom teeth pulled and having all these antibiotics. And then I started getting sick more often because my immune system was lower. And and that San Pedro journey just put a stop to that. I don't know how that works energetically, where my friends don't really see me as that person anymore. Because there was one friend, I think, one day before that, actually, the evening before I did San Pedro, I was walking home. We were walking home from Salsa Friday, and my friend said, hey, I wanted to talk to you for a little bit because I need advice on this guy, because you always seem so balanced and stable, and you're so calm about this stuff. So what do you think about blah 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 blah, blah? And then the whole story came, and I was like, are you serious? Like, I seem calm, but I'm dealing with a lot of shit. My life changed so much in the past 2 years that I'm not even over my separation slash divorce, because it had to make space for the big grief with capital G of losing my dad. And then I sold all my stuff and took my dog to Belgium. And then I was grieving not living with my dog. And I'm just now starting to feel a little bit better about that. 9 months later, almost a year later. And I still miss her every day, but it's not as achy anymore. And I'm like, I cannot take this. And then she sent me these audio messages, like five or six of them. And I honestly must say, I still haven't listened to them. And when she told me, oh, because of my audios, and I told her, honestly, I'm so sorry. I wish I had the capacity to be a better friend right now, but I don't, because I should be the one sending those six audios about everything that's going on inside of me. But because it's too big, because it's too dark blue, right? I don't. Because I learned that when you do mention grief to people, like a couple days ago, a friend of mine, so I was very sad. I was writing that song, and then I was like, okay, Maya, enough of that. Pull myself out of it, make a pawn, meet a friend. And when I met that friend, I said, there was this other friend who was also there. She said, I sent you these audio messages, you didn't answer, and now you're here. And I'm like, you know what? I was crying, then I was writing a song, and now I'm here. I couldn't, but I'm glad you're here now. I'm glad I see you. And then the friend I was actually meeting, he said, yeah, but you just need to feel the sadness. And I was like, well, I I'm feeling it. I can tell you that I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it it's pretty rough. But also, this is not sadness. This is fucking grief. So, one, it's a way bigger box than just sadness. It's way more than that, and I don't agree that you always need to feel it. There's this somatic therapist that also says, like, dissociating or distracting yourself with Netflix isn't always a bad thing. It's also just your nervous system protecting you from something that is just too big right now. And it's not always a bad thing. Maybe something terrible happens and you need to dissociate, and you need a lot of distraction for a year, 2 years, however long. Some people 5 years before you're ready to dive in and work on it. And that is completely fine. But that's why I'm not really talking about my grief with friends, because there are always these reactions that are just not helping, that are actually worse. And they mean well and they try to give advice, and or then one friend starts talking about how scared she is of death and people dying around her, and I'm like, oh well, yeah, that's very helpful to hear because it happened in my life. That bomb exploded, um and now I'm dealing with that. So yeah, that's why I need therapy. That's why I need therapy. Just to talk to someone about it, to cry. Because my friends are not my therapists. My friends are people that I want to see when I want to distract myself and have a good time and dance and shake it out. So yeah, San Pedro Wachuma was good because I gave myself permission to be the one needing support. And I was like, I don't need to think about the others in this group. I don't need to look around and be like, oh no, I'm sitting on this rock, but where is everyone else? And I should join them. And is everyone okay? I can be that girl in the corner that's collapsing, where others just come up to me and be like, hey, what do you need? Versus me asking everyone around me, what do you need? And the thing is, I think it's a superpower that I overuse. And then I learned from my mom. She is awesome at taking care of people. She's always in tune, always wondering who needs what. She's so great at that. And then I became great at that. And it's great. We're always, whenever there's someone at my house, I'm like, do they have enough? Do they want some tea? Are they warm enough? Blah, blah, blah. And it's nice because I like everyone. I want to be comfortable and cozy, and I want everyone else to be comfortable and cozy. But I do not always need to take up that role. And it just made me think of my dad being in that place, my first ex being in a depression. I think of so many people in my life that I've been the caregiver for, either giving care or walking around eggshells, right? Not knowing how they will react, like my recent ex, not knowing how he would have, like, it was very unpredictable how he'd react to certain things. Like, would he get annoyed or not? He sometimes suddenly got annoyed and I didn't even know why. So it's a very unsafe environment for the nervous system. when you cannot predict or cannot really count on things, or have to tiptoe around people. So sometimes I'm like, well, no more tiptoeing. Like, let them tiptoe around me. Because I'm the one with the grief with a big capital G. Um, yeah, so that I need therapy. I already said that. I wanted to give you the Peru update. I gave you that. And it's been so weird to be back here. Um, really nice. Really nice to be singing. I had a beautiful birthday where I swear, right after my birthday, everyone kept inviting me food, buying me food, just like a free piece of pie here, um, free dinner with this person. And it just kept going every day. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, now it's got to stop. And then I went to Fuck Your Diet, the greatest pie place here in Cusco. This podcast is not sponsored by them, but I love the name Fuck Your Diet. And then it says tagline, eat more pies. Their apple pie is the best in the world. And I went there on Monday and I told a client of mine, you know what? I feel bleh today. I just need to go get pie. And then I got there and the owner was like, hey, Maya, can I take a picture of you? It's for a friend of yours. And I'm like, please don't let this be my ex. Like, you can take a picture, but it depends on who who is this for? And he said, no, it's for your client. And I was like, what? So for my birthday, he wanted to buy a gift card for me at Fuck Your Diet, which they don't have gift cards, but the owner just made a system for me and the ladies are just writing it down. The ladies who work there. And from now there's a system so I can go like 5 times more. And that's the great thing about living in Peru. You know, it's so informal that I think in Belgium, if you do that in certain places, they'd be like, oh no, we don't have that system. Sorry, it's not possible, period. And here they're like, sure, let me make a system for it. Or I get discounts in that place just because I go there often. I mean, how great is that? So the feeling of community I get in Peru really nourishes me. It's very lovely. It's like, yeah, whenever you start going to a certain coffee shop regularly, then they say, oh, Maya is a casera, which means regular client. Um, and they tell all their staff, next time you give her a discount. And it's like, great, now I'll come here more often because there's that cariño, that love and care, and they know how to treat their regular clients, you know. Whereas in Belgium, I go to a bar that I love, and the people who work there, they're not even, they don't even smile at me or say hi. They're just doing, you know. And I'm so used to coming into a place, whether it's a restaurant or a cafe, and then the people who work there just say, "Hey, Maya." I'm so used to that in Belgium I'm like, I'm so anonymous, and I don't like it. I want to be famous. No, it's not about. It's not even about the fame. I think it's about feeling seen. It's about feeling that people are happy that you're there, you know, and you count. It's a great feeling. To feel like people see you. And I just feel very invisible in Belgium, always have. But Belgium has the people I love the most. So Belgium does have my family. It has some great friends, my best friend that I've had since we were 15. Some other, like, I feel like every time I go to Belgium, I get rewarded with more friendships and more opportunities, and it makes me want to go back there. So I miss that a lot. So if I could have a combination of Peru and Belgium, like have the community just by functioning in this city of Cusco, you already have community. So if I could combine that with my family and my people that are close to me in Belgium, great. Because I do feel that living alone is way harder now. Since my dad passed, and since before that, like 5 months before that, I got separated with my ex. And, you know, both of those things. And then taking my dog to Belgium and now being here without her, even, not even a dog to walk, you know? So when I want to leave the house, it's like, what do I do? Do I walk around with my headphones in? Like, what? There's no excuse of like, oh, I need to walk my dog, you know? But I promised myself I'm not gonna adopt another dog anymore. I've done it twice. I took them to Belgium twice. Not gonna do it anymore because I do really want to travel. Or maybe at some point, I might get a really small one that can just travel with me anywhere. Maybe. Um, but yeah, living alone has become harder. I've started hating Sundays. I might have said this before on this podcast, but it's still a struggle because I don't know what to do. I don't. I have stuff to do in the house. I have hobbies. I have all these things on my computer and online courses, and I have my piano. And but the problem is, it's all here. So then I took bachata classes outside of the house, which were great. But then still on Sunday, everyone's spending time with their family. And in Belgium, I don't have a hard time with that because it's like having lunch with my grandmother, walking my dog with her, and then spending time with my mom, and having this lazy Sunday together on the couch. And so it fills itself up pretty easily. But here in Peru, Sundays are hard. They're really hard. I never know what to do. I just feel this, I see this sea of time in front of me, and then I don't feel like doing anything. When my whole day is open, it's horrible. And the thing is, I love the spontaneous life in Peru, but I think the spontaneous life while grieving is very hard because a spontaneous life means that things need to flow and that you need to take initiative to hang out with people or they message you to do stuff. And that's great. Like sometimes you start your day with no plans and then people reach out to you. Hey, want to do this? Hey, want to go there? Hey, what are you doing? Yeah, let's go. And the day fills itself up, which I love. That's always been my favorite part about Peru. But I guess partly grief and partly being in my 30s, it does change things because more people are coupled up, more people are just tired and lazy or depressed. I mean, in your 20s, everyone's ready to hang out. Right? And in your 30s, I don't know, everyone's just busy or low energy, or I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what anyone's doing with their lives. And that's a side effect of grief as well. So that makes Sundays harder because in grief it's harder to take initiative, it's harder to reach out to people. That part is getting a little bit easier right now. So I can take initiative. My grief brain is much better because with grief brain, I literally had a big piece of paper on my wall and I had three columns, I think, or four. And one of the columns said people I love to hang out with all of the names. Another column said places I like to go when I want to leave the house, with all of the coffee shops and places I like to go. One of the columns was excitement, when I want some excitement outside of the house, and like all my favorite bars and live music and dance classes and all these things. There was another column that I don't remember right now. Or, oh yeah, activities I love to do inside the house, and it was a piano and la la la, this and that. Because my brain could not remember whenever I was like, ugh, I want to leave the house with someone. And then suddenly my brain was like, I don't know anyone and I don't have any favorite places. Which is not true, but my brain could not recall and did not have the capacity to think about what, where, who, how, what is my life? What do I do every day? What is it? What's my business? Who are my friends? What are my favorite places? So, when people talk about mommy brain, it's very much the same thing. Because I know 1 month after my dad passed and I was in Norway, I think I recorded an episode when I was there or right after that trip. And I remember visiting a friend of my friend who lives in Oslo, and she was pregnant or had a kid already. I don't know. I think she was pregnant still. Yeah. And she talked about pregnancy brain and like mommy brain. And everything she said was like, oh yeah, that's happening to me now too because of my grief brain. But I didn't want to, like, she was like celebrating this new life. So I didn't want to ruin the party and talk about a life that ended and be like, oh yeah, my brain's the same because my dad's dead. so I didn't mention it. Also, those kind of jokes of like when I say it, oh, my dad's dead. And when it comes from me, those kinds of jokes, It's very different than I know when I was doing it in those same months, the first months of grief. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't care because my dad's gone. And then these friends started making those jokes because they heard me say it. And then they started saying, oh yeah, but but for you it's worse because your dad's gone. And I was like, because it was always in those very unexpected moments that they said it. So for anyone who needs to hear it, when a griever is making these jokes, they're the only ones who can make the joke. Sorry. Sorry. You can't do it for them. Like, I think it's the same with anyone, probably someone who has cancer and makes their own cancer jokes, right? Like, you cannot make those cancer jokes for them. They're the only ones with permission to do it. Same for the grieving, because when we do the joke, our brain already thought of it and then we say it, so it's not a surprise. It's very different saying it than hearing someone else suddenly say it when we're not prepared for it. Okay, so anyway, I just needed to put that out there. So, yeah. 30 minutes in. I think I'm wrapping up on this one. What's the title of this episode going to be? I have no idea. But the last thing I wanted to say is yes, I was making the legacy document. I also started a travel insurance and a health insurance because suddenly I was like, what if I die in Thailand? What if I die in Australia? And then no one can ship my body back to Belgium. And then my friends are like, Maya, what the fuck? What are you talking about? And I'm like, but it's a serious concern. Like, at least now I have an insurance and they can actually ship my remains back to my family. And I think that's an important thing because I know what it's like to organize someone's funeral. We did all the paperwork for my dad, and now I know the stress and how it takes months to do it, and how it takes a lot of brain energy that you do not have in that moment. And if I can make it lighter and better for my family whenever that happens, sure. So I think one thing is the depression of grief, but then there are so many other side effects, like just this, your brain goes places where no one wants to go, like the legacy document, the what do they do with my body when I die, the what songs do I want at my funeral, the even the libido, that sometimes there were, like my first episode on this season where it said I don't want to be touched. That's what it was about. Like sometimes and I still have those moments where sometimes I need intimate connection and sometimes I don't want anyone to freaking touch me or be in my space. And then it's really hard to reject people. I feel like probably my romantic friendships cannot really count on me right now. Definitely not, because sometimes I want to see them and sometimes I'm like making up all these excuses to I'm flaky as hell. So still am, and I'm giving myself permission to be that. Sometimes I'm honest about it, but then I feel like it's even more confusing for them when I'm honest about, hey, I don't want to see you because I don't feel like I don't feel like having anyone in my space. It's pretty rough. But yeah, anyway, and it's just stuff that you never think about, that people normally never think about. And then there's this hunger for life. Like I'm suddenly making a bucket list, which I should do an episode on reading you my bucket list because it's crazy. it's yeah, no. I'll do one on that. But yeah, this hunger for life, anything I want to do before I die, any countries I want to travel to, suddenly it's like, oh my god, life is short and I want to do all these things. And at the same time being in this state of survival. So it's a weird combination of all of these things. It's a crazy ride. And I never thought it would be this way until you go through it. And then I'm in these grief groups and I hear everyone kind of thinking the same things and going through the same struggles and being like, oh, this is a universal thing that we just don't talk about enough. So I guess that's why I want to talk about it on this podcast. Sorry, not sorry that this was going to be filled with crazy dating stories, which for some reason I'm not ready to share with you yet, but I do have really great stories. Like these audio, I should just take the audio messages that I send to my friends and turn them into episodes because I never really complain about my love life. It's always just crazy, funny anecdotes that just crazy shit that happens. And I love it. I think for me, dating is where I get my adventure and my laughter from. Most of my amusement in my life comes from my dating stories. So soon, soon to be recorded. That will come soon, but I hope my friend who was pushing me to record again is happy with this one. It's not the condom story, but I promise you it will come. Mm, That's a funny play of word. Okay, never mind. Goodbye. That's it for today. And see you on the next one. I hope I do not promise you anything because I allow myself to be flaky as hell, but I hope it won't take 6 months for me to record the next episode. Thank you so much for being here with me today and hope to see you soon.